So my name's Dan Albas. I'm the Member of Parliament for Central Okanagan-Similkameen-Nicola, and I'm a member of the Conservative Caucus. Well, the interesting thing is, in my hometown of Penticton, councillors weren't returning phone calls, so when people had an issue with City Hall, there was no one to be able to hold accountable. And so that kind of gave me the impetus to put my name forward. And so since then, I've always had a policy of putting my phone number out so that people can phone in, and then I phone them back. So it's something that really animated me to get involved in the politics, was to see more accountability. Well, I got to say there's highs and lows in everything, but in 2012, as a new member of Parliament, I actually got my bill on Free the Grapes, which allowed the interprovincial shipment of wine to go throughout the country, and we did that with all-party support in both the House of Commons and in the Senate. So that was a great victory. And then later on, the same approach was taken by the Harper government in the 2014 budget. So my bill amended the Act for wine, and the Harper government then did the same thing for beer and spirits. So that was just something I thought that was a lot of fun. But being a member of Parliament means being there for people, and so there's other things that you can cite to, specifically in my constituency. So a good example would be a senior gets charged extra by the CRA by accidentally making an overcommitment to a tax-free savings account, and it ends up being a big bill. You know, going to the CRA, making the case that this was an accident, and seeing those things, because seniors don't have a lot of money, and you want to make sure that everyone needs to pay their taxes. But when someone makes a simple mistake, it's nice to see when the authorities recognize that. Canada's a great country, and there's so much we can do to preserve it. There's so many things we can do to build upon it. And the great thing is, every member of Parliament and every senator I've met always has great ideas, and they bring forward such a variety of experiences. So putting all that together and finding things that we can work on, that's what animates me. Well, I used to think that politics was about presenting ideas and then winning support through persuasion. I found out that, especially here on Parliament Hill, there's a dynamic where it's the messenger, not just the message. So you may have a great idea, but it also depends who's proposing it. So for example, if the leader of the official opposition makes a proposal, the government instantly rejects it, and vice versa. That's something I think we need to get over as Canadians, and we need to compromise on some things a little bit more often. If we do that, we can preserve what's great in this country and see some progress. So I can think of two really quickly. Scott Bryson used to be a Liberal member of Parliament, later a minister, and he actually worked with me on my wine bill. Why? He was from Nova Scotia, and Nova Scotia wanted to see their wine industry grow. So my bill on interprovincial shipping of wine allowed both Nova Scotia and British Columbia's economy to grow. So he helped me not only by giving me his spot to have the debate on, but also to talk to his friends in the Senate and to help see it pass with all-party support in both the House and the Senate. Another great example is, as an opposition member, working with a member of the NDP on the Environment Committee and the Bloc Québécois, to try to see if we can find a way where everyone would get a chance to have a study. Look, I support their voters by having their member of Parliament be powerful, present a study, and then having a chance to look at that. And so rather than always playing off support and trying to see if you could cut out the other guy or gal, we actually said, let's all do a study. Let's all show respect for each other's voters. That's something I think that really worked for us. I think two things. Number one is, I think people are too content just to talk past one another rather than with one another. And I think that happens from politician to politician. I also think that it happens too much with a constituent and a politician. So the way our system's supposed to work, I'm supposed to listen to everyone, regardless of their partisan views, regardless of where they live in my riding, I'm supposed to be their member of parliament, and I need to take what they tell me. And I do need to find a way to raise legitimate concerns in the House of Commons so they feel represented. But I also think that politicians should try to listen to each other, and when there is that common ground, like again, on the interprovincial shipping of Canadian wine, that is something I think that most people should say, hey, if a Canadian works hard, makes a great product, why shouldn't we be able to send it to someone else across the country and share a little bit about what makes the region special? What gives me hope for the next generation is the fact that they're so eager to discuss things, and there's so much technological progress. It now is where you can reach out to a member of parliament instantly by a Zoom phone call or all these different programs that have it so that people can get a hold of their member of parliament. It used to be where people could only see their member of parliament by writing to them and seeing them on a particular date and time. Now it's easy for for me just to Zoom someone from my office here in West Block and be able to have conversations that matter to them. The advice I'd give to my 16-year-old self is to go out there and try. You know, there's so much opportunity, and you don't learn unless you actually try and do something with what you have. So, don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes happen to the best of us, and in fact, we learn from it. So that's what I would tell my 16-year-old self. Just get out there and try.